Warning, the following video contains content not suitable for people under the age of 13. If you are under 13, we are not responsible for any future counseling. Thank you.
You remember that story where I was walking down there, or no, we were in Sarah's driveway, and this dude was taking a jog. This dude's like 6'4" and a football coach. He's taking a jog, and I was like, you dare me to make fun of him, like running behind him and stuff?
Oh my God! Oh,
so
I remember that.
All right, so this is kind of a short story, but I was running behind him, and I was like making fun of the way he ran and stuff. And he turned around and he just looked at me, and then I just I walked back. So I don't know. I'm walking home, and this car pulls up behind me, and he goes, "Where do you live?" Blah blah blah. And I said, "I live down here." He was like, "Well, I want to talk to your parents." And I was like, "Okay." I led him to my house. My mom comes to the door, and she was like, she started talking to him, and he was like, "You know that your son was following me, blah blah blah, making fun of me or something like that." And he was mad. My mom was like, "Yeah, sorry about that, blah, blah, blah." And then when she shut the door, she goes, "What a pussy." and my dad was pulling in the driveway, and that was right when the dude was leaving. He was pulling in the driveway, and my dad said, what was that all about, blah, blah, blah. My mom explained the story to him. He was like, "Man, I wish I would have been here for this. I would have called him a pussy straight to his face." This dude is like a 6'4". Keep in mind that dude was a 6'4" football coach. You know, he should be a tough guy, you know, not get bent out of shape easily, but oh well. It was a good time.
Oh man, I love this thing. I tell everybody this one. Jordan, my friend, who shit down a slide. Okay, so we were walking to this park, and this is where it gets bad. I mean, this is like, we're going to be like 30, and we're going to have to go into a church and go to like confession to make up for this sin right here, dude. Like, this is bad. Okay, so we're walking to this church that has a playground in it where we usually just hang out. So we're walking to it. And by the way, the playground is on chapel property. So this is like holy ground, so to speak. So we're walking, and Jordan goes, "I gotta take a shit." So I was like, "Okay, well, what the hell do you want me to do about it?" My house is like a 5-minute walk away from this park. Jordan's is what would you say, like two, maybe 2.5, Jordan?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So he's like, "I gotta take a shit," and we're almost there. We're pretty much at the park. So we get there, and he's like, "Man, I really gotta take a shit." I was like, "Okay, and your house is like 2.5 minutes away." So he goes, "No, man, I don't want to go there." I was like, "Well, what the hell do you want me to do? You want to take a shit here?" He's like, "Dude, how funny would it be if I could shit down a slide?" So he's like, I was like, "Okay, then do it." He's like, but I need toilet paper." So I was like, "All right, fine. If I get the toilet paper, you're gonna shit down the slide." He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So I run home. So I get home in like 2 minutes or whatever, and I grab a roll of toilet paper and I bring it back. So there's this beam above this slide. You can grab onto it and then sling yourself down the slide. You kind of have to duck under it to go down the slide. So he's sitting on the beam.
Well, first off, I couldn't take a dump like squatting. Like I had to freaking sit on something so it just like naturally flowed out. But it just didn't work. But
so anyway, so he's sitting on this beam, and there's these kids in the yard that's adjacent.
Yeah.
This is me telling you now. These kids in the chapel, or they're adjacent to the chapel. So we can see them from where we're sitting, and Jordan could see them. He's like, "Okay, you keep lookout, because there's a street that also, if cars were to go by, could see." So I'm standing there, and I'm watching, and I'm keeping guard, and I'm watching children make sure they don't look. And I look over at the perfect moment to watch this turd come out of his ass and land on the fucking slide and just roll into a ball on its way down. And like right after that, the kids that were jumping on a trampoline just shouted, "Yeah." They were playing a game of some sort. I know for sure that they were not. They did not see what was going on.
No, they did see it. I remember looking, they said, ew. I was the one
Shit,
taking
they
the
said,
shit.
yeah, because they were playing a game. They were playing a game, Jordan. They were playing a fucking game, okay? So, Jordan, like fucking freaks out and is pulling up his pants and shit. So, I'm laughing, because what I just saw was about the funniest thing I've seen all fucking day. So I'm laughing so hard, I'm crying. And so I hand him the toilet paper, he's wiping, and we go down, and he's still wiping. And he's just dropping the toilet paper because he's trying to hand the used toilet paper to me. He's like, here, just take it. I'm like, oh, fuck no. You have wiped your ass with that. I'm not fucking touching that. I'm not touching that shit. I'm laughing. There's a big fucking turd that's rolled into a ball at the bottom of the fucking slide. I'm laughing my ass off. Jordan's like leaving toilet paper debris everywhere. And then we find this one psycho girl's helmet, and he decides to use the toilet paper to pick up the smelly ass turd. By the time he picked it up, it reeked. It was so bad. We're fucking gagging maggot.
If I had to pick it up, there couldn't be a turd laying at the bottom of the slide, and the kid's gonna slide on it and stuff.
Dude. So anyways, so he drops it in this psycho girl's helmet and, like, puts all the toilet paper and shit in there and we leave. That was fucking hilarious. Oh, we are totally burning in hell for that. Hey, Ethan. Why don't you tell him about the I gotta reload? Oh my god. Oh, it was so great. It's a fantastic day.
Should I just tell it?
Here, I'll
tell it. I got it. Alright, so this is back in the Modern Warfare 2 days. We're about like 13. And we had this obsession with the riot shield. And, we like to play Airsoft. So our idea was to make a riot shield for Airsoft out of like cardboard and stuff.
And tape to prevent the BBs from going through it.
Yeah, to prevent the freaking shots to go through, and pretty good. And sometimes the bullets would go through, but
it was rare.
Cardboard box. I mean, we could have done a little bit better, but it was pretty good. I mean, you could see out of it and everything. Actually, pretty decent. Well, we decided to go a 2-on-1, me and Connor, versus Ethan, and we gave Ethan the riot shield. This is just to basically test out the riot shield. And Ethan only had a handgun while I had an automatic submachine gun.
No. You had the same handgun, and I had the M16.
No, I had my automatic. I remember it.
You had one.
I had my automatic. And you were in the bushes. I didn't even know where you were, actually, to be honest, but now I do. And anyway, so I'm firing at Ethan, and Ethan's firing back. Well, he's like, fuck this right shield. Throws it on the ground. He's like, oh yeah. So this is when it just becomes fun. Well, I'm shooting at him, and we had this rule for Ethan and Ethan only, to where if he had to reload, we had to stop and put our guns out, because it's not fair. He's got a handgun, and it's 2-on-1. It's just really not fair. Well, I'm shooting at him, and he's like, I stopped, and then he had only a couple bullets left. Well, he turns on the left side of the tree is where I could see him, and on the right side of the tree is where Connor could see him. And he turns to the right side of the tree, and he goes, I gotta reload. And right about that time, Connor shot him straight in the mouth. And he got shot with an airsoft pellet, and he goes, I gotta reload.
It was so funny.
And when we just stopped, the whole game stopped, and we just freaking cracked up.
I
made the mistake of sticking my head out behind the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From my perspective, there were two trees that were side by side with a little space in between. So Ethan was kind of moved from one to the other and shoot in between, which is a pretty good idea. So, and since Jordan was laying down covering fire, I decided to move across into these bushes. So I'm laying there, and we have a rule that you don't shoot in the face or in the head. You don't aim for that area, and you have to stay 30 feet apart, so it doesn't hurt too much, and we don't want to draw blood or anything. So I'm laying there, and I'm waiting for the perfect moment. So Ethan comes around the corner. As soon as I saw him, I pulled the trigger, and the BB must have hit like a little bit of an updraft or something, so it curved up a little bit. They're light enough to be carried by air, so it went up a little bit, and it was just the magic moment. All we heard was, I got a real... because Ethan was gagged on the BB. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe. This is the end of part 2 of Stories from Louisiana. Please watch the next one, and thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.